Hi guys, this is part two, Sew and Tear Live. We'll kind of wait as people and hopefully people find it. So I'm not sure what YouTube is doing to us. Just talked with my moderator on text, and she said that she was not able to type in the comment section. So that was really weird. Hi Verna. Hopefully other people are coming back. That was really weird. So I don't know if you guys were able to see the kits. Thank you, Ed. Welcome. Did you guys see and hear the kits, or did YouTube putz out on us before then? Andy, I have a weird echo. Is there a normal echo, Ed? If I talk quieter, is that better? You didn't see the kits. Okay. Hey, Jennifer's here. Jennifer's here. Buster made it back. People are starting to trickle back in. Thank you guys. Not sure what happened there. Verna said that she was unable to type in a comment too. So sounds like YouTube did something weird. But welcome. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, Buster says. So I was trying to show you guys the kits, Tortellini's babies, and I did show you, but you didn't see it. YouTube had a brain fart, Verna says. I think so. So we'll wait a couple minutes, and then your comments would disappear. That's so weird. We'll wait a couple minutes before I show you guys the girls. Plus, they're eating right now. But and then we will show you guys that. So yeah, sorry for the weirdness. All right, we got 10 people back. We're at 19, so hopefully people find it. If not, they might not be coming. I don't know. Thanks for finding it again. I should probably post this on the Friends of Sew and Tear Facebook group, huh? Let's see. Looking for part two. Well, hopefully it actually is okay. Anyway, so let's see what people are saying. People are saying I'm frozen. Hopefully I'm still not frozen. Are you guys able to see and hear? Is this going to be a weird night? I mean, it could be a weird night anyway. I can't see any comments coming in. Verna says not letting you type. Can you hear though, Verna? He's texting with me. Let me know if you can hear. We might just have a radio show. Okay, we're going to go for a little bit then. It sounds like YouTube's going to be weird. Oh, they came through. Got it. So, oh, Eric, thank you. You're my first super chat. I get a thumbs up for the pair. You're awesome, Eric. Thank you. You can tell more jokes tonight if it'll let you type. Diana says, I'm here. Steve says, are your greens yellowing as well? No, they are healthy. They are healthy looking. They are just curled. I should go get one. Yes, can see and hear. Looks like I was first like on that one. I don't know. Andy Rabbit claimed it, Ed. You guys might have been the same time. Oh, and Jennifer can see and hear. Verna says, let me try again. Finally, yes. So you did this for the extra likes I'm on to you. I don't know about that. Yeah, I got 100% watch time on the other one. That's pretty good, right? No, I don't know what happened. So weird. Steve says, okay, y'all, thumbs up again. Now it's back. Now typing is back. Good. Verna says, I saw the curls, but I have seen that before and it's normal. Yeah, I've never seen that. I grew this variety last year. It's a really good variety. It's a stringless variety. And what is it called? You're going to ask. It starts with the E. I want to say it's like emerit or something like that. Emerit, something like that. But it's a stringless variety, which if you've grown green beans that are string beans, you know the value of finding a good stringless variety. Yeah. There you go. Bob's here. Howdy. I tapped on comments and he showed up but me. Oh, Verna, would you mind putting this link in the like as a comment in the other one? That would be a good thing for because I know people show up late. Verna, you're a lifesaver. Thank you. Running smoothly now. That's good. They say there is a virus when they curl, but normally the leaves yellow too. For green beans. Yeah. I don't know, and we don't tend to have too with plant diseases here. At least that exist in like humid areas because we don't have that humidity that spreads stuff. Peach leaf curl being the exception, and we do get powdery mildew, especially if we have a lot of fog, but we haven't had a lot of fog in a long time. Yeah. PJ wants to know if Bob feels lonely. Oh. Eric said, "I pray for Katrina and your farm while at church. Thank you." Dawn found us. Yes, indeed, Bob. We're here for you. We're here for you. And that PJ says the same thing. Andy Rabbit says, "Why does my bean leaves look white?" I don't know about white. I know that they yellow when it's toward the end of their life, and Steve is telling us that there is a virus that they can get when it's yellowing. Are they white spots or are they just white? Because if it's white spots, I have no idea if they get powdery mildew. Anybody know? I haven't had that experience on them. I've had that experience on squash leaves, and that's might be it. That might be all I've had powdery mildew on, but it could be powdery mildew. Look up powdery mildew real quick and see if that's what you think it is. And if it is, I just pull off the leaves and I don't know green beans, but I feed the other ones to my animals. And if it is powdery mildew, you can treat it with like a milk and water spray bottle, solution. But I just pull off the leaves. Oh, Bob's on day 17 and have 5 chicks from 14 so far. Awesome. Good luck with the rest of them. Good luck. There's Dawn. Andy says, sounds skipping. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It has been done. What has been done? Did you call your cuis? Is that what has been done? Yeah. Just refreshing. Yeah, you might have to refresh. I don't know. You get it on cucumber leaves. Okay. The powdery mildew. Yarrow, you've cut it back twice. It is wild. Yeah, it does grow quite a bit. And in your area, you get moisture, and so it's going to just continue to grow. And it spreads too. So, like, if you let it flower and seed, you just have it all over the neighborhood. And people won't know what it is where you are. Yeah. Steve says, "Can we get 3 more likes than I can amass mine?" Oh boy. Silly Katrina has been done. Link on the other video. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Verna. I sometimes I stuff and then we get into stuff and then I forget what I asked someone to do. But thank you. Oh, it's not mold. It's like a yellow leaf, but they are white. Is it just like 1 or 2, or is it a bunch of them? Because like powdery mildew will wipe off if you just wipe it off. I mean, it's not the cure, but it does that. I don't know. It might need nitrogen, but they're nitrogen fixers, so they shouldn't need nitrogen. I don't know. Does anybody have any ideas about why the leaves of green beans would be white? I'm looking over here because I'm looking at the green beans. That's why I'm looking over here. I realize that might be weird for you guys. PJ says last batch and chicken eggs in the incubator going on lockdown tomorrow. Awesome. Good luck. Good luck. When are you doing guineas? Are you going to do more? Yeah. Thank you, Verna. I got lost. Thank you. The whole pot is full of our yarrow. Yeah, it spreads. It spreads. My yarrow started in the cherry box and then the cherry trees, and then it spread all over. It has actually jumped the sidewalk and barely into the other side of the yard now in the front. Yeah. If you pull off the leaves of powdery mildew, don't touch anything else until you wash your hands or you spread it. Yep, it is spreadable. Because I feed my quail and my chickens the leaves of like zucchini and squashes, and they're fine. I don't see any issue with giving that to your animals. Iron deficiency. Maybe iron deficiency usually is yellowing, but it could be white. It could present as white in the in that. Maybe it's some sort of deficiency. What I would do is I would Google it, and I know that's a stupid answer, but I would Google it, and then I would also use. There's two things that you can do two things that I would do if it was something that bothered me and it wasn't just a few leaves. It was just a few leaves, pick them off. But one, you can use compost tea or just compost. But if you do compost tea, what you do is you put a little bit of tea in, put a little bit of tea. No, you put a little bit of compost. Especially if it's like worm compost, that's really good. But if it's other compost, that's fine. Put a little bit in a bucket, and it's good if it's in like a sock or a stocking. Tie it in there, and then if you get an aquarium bubbler, you can put that in there and add a little molasses into a bucket, and the aquarium bubbler will bubble it, and do that for 24 hours. And what that does is it increases the good bacteria in there from that little tiny bit of bacteria. Most of these bacteria eat sugar, which is what the molasses is for. And so when that gets increased population wise, it's like a super boost for your garden. If you let that go further, longer than the molasses lasts, then they starve and they die. So that doesn't do good. So like a 24-hour thing was good. And then you can use that as a drench. You can use that on the soil. You can also spray it on the plant. And then the same thing you can do with a seaweed spray. So they make a seaweed concentrate thing for plants, and you can use that on this as a foliar feed. You can use that anyway, as it's nutritive. And the other thing you can use that for is if you have shotgun fungus that I've gotten in the front on the plums before. I think I only got it like 2 years. It's a while ago since I had to do that. The seaweed spray helps with that. So those are the types of things that I would do if any plant kind of looked a little off or kind of looked a little sick. I generally don't go to drastic measures. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Do you like Star Wars jokes? I have Star Wars jokes. Go for it, Eric. It's not the 4th of May, but we can have some jokes. Steve says, my new chicks are doing super. They are at my shire at this time. Yeah, they're doing super, huh? What kind are you getting, Steve? What kind are coming home with you? Bob says low or lack of iron will also cause yellow leaves. Yeah, Bob, I knew about the yellow leaves, but her leaves are white. Whoa, there's a bird out there. What is it? I'm sorry, guys. It's a yellow bird, and I only saw the bird that I usually see. and it's in the cucumber, so I can't see it. Yeah, so she's talking about actually white leaves, not yellow. Yeah, but iron deficiency, I know it goes yellow. Verna's also getting my Tire ticks. PJ says, found 2 guineas on 2 nests next to each other. Have a white guinea showing up occasionally, thinking she is on a nest also, but across the road. So you don't have to incubate, is what I'm hearing. Is that pretty good? Are they pretty good moms? Are they pretty good at hatching their own? Andy Rabbit says, I have taken leaves to the greenhouses around here. No one can tell me. Maybe don't spread it. I don't know. Is it still fruiting? And yes, it is called fruit. It's a green bean. It's a fruit. Is it still fruiting? Because that's really weird. I would think it would be either a disease or a nutrition issue, and I would start with nutrition because the healthier your plant is, the better it will be able to fight off diseases. So it's always good to start with good soil and good. I mean, that helps with the bacteria and all that, the good bacteria and all that. Steve says white leaves on green bean plants can be a sign that the plant is being attacked by one of the 3 types of fungi: powdery mildew, which we talked about, bean rust, or Pythium blight. I don't know about the last 2, but it sounds like it's not powdery mildew. Prevention methods such as planting disease-resistant seeds, ensuring soil nutrition, or using fungicides can help eliminate the problem before it occurs. Yeah, I don't know. Copper is a fungicide. That's what I use on the peach leaf curl for the peach trees. That's the only thing I spray regularly. Didn't get the spray this year because of all the rain, and it did have some, but I'm very surprised that all of the peach trees are completely fine. A few leaves, and that was it, just because of all the wet weather we had. Andy Rabbit says, it doesn't matter where. Whoop, you jumped. Hang on. What does she say? It doesn't matter where I plant my beans. It happens even in rabbit poop. Interesting. I don't know. Eric's laptop just broke. Uh-oh. Maybe it wasn't a good joke. I don't know. At least it wasn't your lap, where it says we have good humor here. How does Darth Vader eat with his mask on? He's force-fed. Oh boy. Bob says Steve has more likely answers for white leaves. Yeah, and I don't know all the different fungus that are out there. I just know what happens here. Rust is usually red, though, so I don't know that would turn it that color. So I guess another question for you, Andy, is if you take a leaf, can you wipe off the white, or is it actually the leaf that is white? Because I think how I'm reading it, it's the actual leaf. Because most of the fungus stuff you should be able to wipe off, knowing that I don't know those other 2 fungus, but I know powdery mildew you can wipe off. Yeah. Yeah, Steve's our local Google guru. Oh, don't buy any from Wally World. Yeah, green beans start readily enough from seed that I don't think you have to buy plants. It's like if you see like corn as a plant. I mean, that's easy enough to start too. Yeah. Google ain't cheating. That's good, Bob. Oh my gosh. Ed says, how do you know it's a dad joke? It will be apparent. PJ's Far says, I couldn't find eggs for the longest time, then found dead birds. Guineas out near crushed eggs in my hayfield. I'm sorry. More Star Wars from Eric. Why does Yoda not smell? He uses deodorant. Oh boy. That would be like a yodel joke. Andy Rabbit says, this year I started a new planter with rabbit poop and pro mix potting soil, new type beans, yard long, and runner beans. It's leaf itself. I thought it was leaf itself. So the potting mix, I know that beans were an issue with. Somebody remind me of the name of that thing I'm talking about. A lot of the organic soils, or not even organic, just a lot of the soils that people would buy, or compost that people would buy, this year and last year, or last year, I think, last year and the year before, when they were in production, they have found that a lot of times it kills beans and tomatoes and things in those families, because of, I don't remember what it is. It's a pesticide, or it's herbicide, and it's herbicide that somehow got into, I think, the hay that is broken down for the compost or something. So I don't remember what it's called, but hopefully it wasn't that. Hopefully you didn't get a bag of that, because that takes a lot of remediation to deal with. And I know some people are trying to deal with it with sunflowers and fungus and a lot of that. Yeah. I don't know. Jennifer says, Katrina, you mentioned you spray your peach trees with copper. Where do you purchase that? It will be at any nursery, or at Ace, a hardware store or a nursery, the copper spray. And it comes in a spray bottle, and you mix it. Oh, I might have some. Let me show you what it looks like. Well, I don't have any, but I did find the seaweed extract. That's what that looks like. And this is something that I haven't used yet. It's spinosad. This is what the container looks like for. They also have a spray, but it's better to use this and mix it yourself. That's what the container looks like. This is spinosad, and this is Captain Jackson. There's a story behind this. I haven't used it yet. I got it because I thought I needed it, and then I decided I didn't. But that was found in a brewery. It's a natural bacteria that was found in a brewery, and for some reason it helps. I even forget what it helps. Okay, for control of feeding worms, caterpillars, thrips, and other pests. And it's all organic, and like I said, it was found in a brewery. So anyway, there you go. But it looks like that. It's a little bottle. They make bigger ones too. You don't need to get the big one. It's a little one, because you literally mix like a capful per gallon or something like that. And then you spray it on, and you do that. Well, I don't know where you do it around where you are, but where I am in Gilroy, we're supposed to do it Thanksgiving, New Year's, and Valentine's Day. Those are the holidays to remember what time you should do it. And you do it 3 times, and that's supposed to get all of the potential. And when I've used it, it works well. Unless you have peach leaf curl or another type of fungus. Yeah. Good question. So there we go. Steve says, Bob, my motto is, if you aren't cheating, you aren't trying. Yeah, anything from Wally World, from soils to seeds, are iffy. Yeah, Verna, I think you have to be cognizant of where you're getting things from. Like sometimes even like the Dollar Tree, you'll have seeds and you look at the back and you say, okay, when was this, you know, meant for? Now, old seeds will still grow. Don't throw away your seeds if it's, if the date is done. I mean, it's not an expiration date. It's basically they want you to use it within the next year, and that's a requirement for best practices. You're still going to get germination. You might even get 100% germination, but the idea is through time that germination will drop off. I mean, there's lettuce seeds that were germinated like 80 years later. There was a story about that. So don't give up on your seeds. Just realize if they are old seeds, they might not germinate as well. So there you go. All right. Andy doesn't do Wally World either. Eric says, what's Yo's last name? Hugh. Verna says, I made that mistake this year, Andy, as someone was heading to Wally World and talked me into it. Yeah. Oh, hopefully you got me. If not, you'll get on the replay. Hopefully. Uh-oh, Bob's getting involved. Yoda middle name? Lay? Oh boy. All right, PJ's gonna be back. Dawn says, have a great night, everyone. 9 p.m. here. Time to get off the computer. Have a good night, Dawn. Thanks for joining us. He got you, didn't he, Eric? Andy Rabbit says, for about 4 to 5 years. Interesting. Yeah, Dawn says, I have 2 bottles of Cap'n Jacks. It's great stuff. I haven't used it, but I haven't had need to. I thought I did, and then I end up just picking bugs off, and yeah. This. Let's see if it'll let me click on it without leaving. Yeah, I can't click on that, Verna. Not on my touch screen. Uh-oh. There. It might be. Copper Bonide. Yeah, that's the same brand, I think, as this one. That's the brand. There's other brands, but yeah. It's likely that, yes. Andy Rabbit says, I use Cap'n Jack. Could white leaves be lack of chlorophyll? Yes, that is what it is, but the reason for lack of chlorophyll is the question. Like, what is happening to make the chlorophyll not do its job? Yeah. Cheapest meat, they're under $1. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oop. Bob says, I bought 2 geraniums at Wally World. They have been babied and are mediocre at best. Yeah, if you can get, I mean, the same goes for like Lowe's. Lowe's is okay here. Some Lowe's are, some Lowe's aren't. But any plant that's been in a container and just left for whatever, when you buy a plant at a store, it's likely going to be root bound. Like that's just what the story is. That's how it goes. And so when you take it out, you want to make sure the roots are at least wherever you put it. Unwind some of the roots and all of that, and go from there. And I think what you would do is, I mean, I would just keep them really healthy and use the seaweed and the rose tea for anything brand new to the yard. Yeah. I don't know. Andy Rabbit says, I have tomatoes, watermelon, cucumber in the same mix. Andy, did you look up the variety? Do they just have white leaves? Did you cross that off the list? That would be easy to cross off the list. I hear the little kitty and his little bell. That would be easy to cross off the list. So hopefully maybe that's it. I don't know. Because there are some white plants. Buster's laughing at Eric. The other plants look great. All right. I heard Captain Jack. I was thinking Captain Morgan. It did not compute. Captain Jack. There you go. Dead bug. I just can't figure it out. Andy says, I do not know. I do not know. Unless it's a variety. I don't know. Try growing different beans. See if that works. And maybe you have already. There's a big sale at Lego store. People lined up for blocks. Verna says, Katrina, after this live stream, I am putting ice cream sandwiches in the freeze dryer. That sounds really good. Actually, just ice cream sounds really good. I have the last peach puree batch in there. We took a break and did some other things, and peach puree is coming out. It could have come out last night if I added extra time. I didn't. I just let it run through the night. And then it could have come out this morning, and I started it, but then it needed extra time, and I should have done the extra time last night. And then I haven't gotten to it yet. So it's still in there. It's going to be dry by now. I mean, it hasn't been drying this whole entire time, but that will come out, and then we will put more squash in because we have a good amount of squash. Yes, that was in the spray bottles. Yeah, so the spray bottles are fine, but the thing about the spray bottles, you want to look on the back and see if you need to dilute it, because sometimes they have them in spray bottles and they still need dilution. But then also, if they are in spray bottles and they're ready to spray, that is completely fine. If you have a whole tree to do, or you have several trees to do, don't do that because you're paying for water. If you have water at home and you have, a $4 sprayer, or if you want to work out, you can use these sprayers. I don't suggest you use those sprayers. I did do that my first year, and man, my forearms were strong. Yeah. Oh, we gotta scroll back up. Not enough. Yeah, not enough sun would be another reason why a plant would be not as green. It doesn't sound like that's what she has. Bob says, Steve, when you heard Captain Morgan, did you put a foot up on posing me? Oh boy. Well, I was going to have a different topic, but I think the topic today, based on what we're talking about, is what you can do. And we're already kind of talking about it, is what you can do in your yard to increase your plant's health. And so we already talked about a couple of them. One is to use the seaweed extract as a foliar feed. Another is to do a compost tea, and that can be done with worm compost or other compost. And I should actually do that. I should do a video on that. I should do a lot of things. You could do tea from comfrey, which I still haven't done, but basically what you do for that is you chop up a bunch of comfrey, bucket, you submerge it with water, you squish it around, put something heavy on it, you put the lid on very tightly because it will stink otherwise, and it will still stink. You just can't smell it. And set aside for 6 weeks, or a year, like I did. And you can pull that out and strain it and use it as a foliar and a foliar feed, and also to drench the ground. And you can that's very concentrated. You can use less product and just water it down. I also know that people do that just with general, and they basically pull out the nutrients by rotting it. I haven't done that, so I don't know how that works really well at all. And so those are the things I would say. Compost is something that is important to use, and worm compost is good. If you don't have worm compost, that's fine. You can make your habitat out there with the worms and your compost, right? Another thing that I add to my soil when I refresh beds is azomite and I have a video on this as well. If you're interested, look it up. What that does is it adds minerals to the soil. It's crushed up rock. That's all it is. A to Z of minerals and trace elements is what that stands for. And so you get trace elements with the seaweed too. So that is good. And trace elements are those elements that are not the NPK. So when you see a fertilizer bag and it has 3 things on it, 3 numbers, that's NPK, nitrogen, potassium, and K. Why am I blanking? Anyway, NPK. Okay, someone has to see that because it's not in my brain right now. I'm sorry, guys. But the micronutrients or trace elements are the other nutrients. And so what you do with that is you put it in, and then the organisms that are in the soil and the bacteria that is in there break down those parts of rocks, because plants don't eat rocks. They need the organisms and bacteria to break them down for them. Then you do that, and like a year later, your plants will benefit. So if you do that every year, you're going to benefit things every year. So that's what I do to increase the soil health. Also with my fruit trees, I do mulch with wood chips. And what that does is it allows allows the fungus to grow under the ground. That connects everything. The mycorrhizal fungus. And that allows all of the plants to be able to get nutrients from the soil. It's a with the plant. So that happens in that, and that also happens in your vegetable systems as well. And I don't think I did this year. Did I? Somebody tell me if I did. It's on videos. But I will often add mycorrhizae when I plant starts, and that just gives that plant a head start because the mycorrhizae are already there. So those are things that I do. Another thing I do is use automatic water and don't let the soil dry out too much. If you let the soil dry out too much, then it will, that layer will not have as active life. So let me know what you guys help to keep your soil healthy and to keep your plants healthy. And there might be something I missed. Okay. Eric says, shepherds who steal sheep live life on live life on the lamb. Living life on the lamb, that's I don't know where that saying comes from. It's a weird saying. We have some weird sayings in this language. Where it says, so when root bound, take it out, put it in a bucket of water, just covering the roots overnight. Then in the morning, jiggle or giggle the roots before planting. Yeah, you can do that. You don't have to. If it's severely root bound, that's a really good idea. But often if you just loosen them up, like here's a plant, here's the bottom. If you just go like this and kind of loosen it up, and you can unwind them sometimes, but that's a good idea if it's severely root bound. Steve has a follow-up question for you, Verna. Do you hold the roots up to your mouth when you giggle them? And Bob's laughing at you. It's okay. It's okay. Buster says some places use growth retardants so they don't grow so fast for sale. That, I've heard of that. I don't know anything about it. I know that they do that for like sweet potatoes in the store so that people don't sprout their own, but you still can. Yeah. Interesting. You guys jumped. Hang on. Andy Rabbit says this year is 2 new type of beans, though. Okay. I tried something all new before this year. It was bush beans, purple and green. This year, yard longs and red runners. So have you tried anything else in the bean family? Like, is it the whole bean family that is affected? That's got to be an extension office that you can pose the question to. I would look for your local. I know you're not local too much, but I would look for your most local extension office. Yeah. Oh, 3 flavors of sandwiches, ice cream sandwiches. Verna's doing. Verna, are they going to QuailCon? Not even people that grow. You can answer this question. I don't know. Verna, they are Neapolitan. They're good. Buster. Yeah, Neapolitan. If you cut them in thirds, though, you can have chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. No Neapolitan there. You get the powder. Okay. Erica says, I love melons so much that I want to marry one. Unfortunately, Lionel says we can't cantaloupe. Or we cantaloupe. Yes. I've heard that one before. It's a good one. And I miss cantaloupe. I had planted melons, but instead squashes came up. Maybe melons will come up next year, the year after. Oh, so it's not new. Oh, so Neapolitan is one of your flavors. Verna says vanilla, chocolate chip, mint, vanilla, and Neapolitan. I did not know they made chocolate chip mint. Cool. The older I get, the more I understand why roosters just scream to start their day. Thank you, Steve. Phosphorus and potassium. I knew that the potassium was not pee. And that's what I was getting stuck on. NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Yes. And they do different things for different different reasons. And they are always in that order. So if you are looking for something with more nitrogen for greens, then it's the first one that is higher. If you're looking for more of the others for flowers or fruits, then those are the ones that are going to be higher. Bob Coles has got a thumbs up, folks, before you go, and have a great evening. Have a great evening, Bob. Thank you for joining us. Everybody stand by. David's here. He found us. All right. Let me get there. We're having technical difficulties today, David. All right. Welcome. McAllister Quail Trail is online finally. Welcome. What's the matter? And sounds like a sneeze, a shoe. Oh my goodness, Eric, you're gonna run out of jokes. If we're gonna be on here next time, you're gonna be like, I'm sorry, I told them all my jokes. Is that why you wash them, plants and veggies? Oh, because of the growth stuff. I don't wash the ones that come out of my yard unless I'm using it for someone that is not not here, or if it looks a little buggy or something. Yeah. Why you wash produce from the store is a whole nother story. There can be some nasty stuff on that, for sure. Yeah. And when I use the copper spray on the peach trees, it's when they're dormant. So you're not spraying fruit. You're spraying the buds. Yeah. Buster said, David, I will check it out. I am South Central Oklahoma. Awesome. Andy said, only beans, not anything else. Stop growing beans. It's your destiny. Grow something else. I don't know. Like I said, extension office. Verna says, yes, everything I freeze dried this month is for QuailCon. I thought maybe. So Jennifer asked, why do you put peach trees? So I use the copper spray on my peach trees to control peach leaf curl. Peach leaf curl is a fungus, and I haven't done a video on spraying the trees, but I did show it in one of the videos. I have no idea which video it was. I think it might have been like a week in review. But peach leaf curl is a fungus that it's either in your neighborhood or it's not. So we have it here. And and it's just in the neighborhood, and you're not going to get rid of it, and you're going to have it every year, or you're going to treat for it every year. And there are some trees that are susceptible to it, and some trees that are resistant to it. Keyword is resistant. And when you have a healthy tree to begin with, it fights it off fine. It's great. I don't know that I've heard of it ever killing a tree, and it may have. Someone might have a different experience than mine. But a healthy tree will fight it off, and I think that's what happened this year. Is they were just so healthy. But it's a fungal infection of the leaf, and it can actually affect the fruit as well. And usually, when my trees get it, when I don't spray, what'll happen is the leaves will get really thick and stop. They'll stop photosynthesizing, so they'll not be green anymore. They turn red and brown, and then they kind of get brown and crusty, and then they like go like this, and they like disintegrate, and then everything it touches on the way down can get affected. And so they say not to. They say to pick them off the tree and remove them from your property and all that. Where I am, it's to an extent that everybody has who has peach trees, and so I don't do that. When I mulch, I mulch it right there, because it's not going to be something I get rid of, and it's there. So copper is the answer for that, and there really isn't another answer for that except for picking off the leaves. And you can pick a whole tree, but that, if it's on the leaf bud, then it's going to infect that leaf. So the goal is to spray the tree with enough sufficiency of coverage so that doesn't happen. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Not every place is going to have that. Some places might have a different disease issue. That's really the only thing. I think I had flyer blight on one pear last year, but cut it off and it was fine. This year is growing great. And then the peach leaf curl is the only other thing. Oh, I guess I had shotgun fungus in the front that 1 or 2 years, but those are mine. Those are more minor. Yeah. And where are we? Oh, David and Buster met a couple of weeks ago. Cool. Oh, but you don't know where? Oh, you said it backwards. Mint chocolate chip. It's okay. You've had migraines all day. Things can be backwards. It's okay. We understand chocolate and mint. They go together well. Let's see. Oh, you guys met at Tractor Supply. Why does Tractor Supply and Subway, do they have a thing going? Because our Tractor Supply has a Subway in the same parking lot area. Yeah. Every now and then, Katrina's sounds like Max Headroom. It's neat sounding. I don't know what that means, Steve. Is that good, bad? I have no idea. Andy says, I still get good beans, but I have no idea on the white leaves. That bugs me. So it's still fruits? I don't know. You can sell tickets to it. How about that? Make it work for you. I wonder if those seeds in someone else's yard. Now, don't go spreading disease. That's what I just told you to do, didn't I? But I wonder if someone else grew those seeds, what would happen? Just curiosity. Katrina, those are books of dad jokes. He would not run out. Oh, yes, there are. Yeah, I was making a joke. All right. And I got to scroll. All right. Eric says, laughing too loudly is illegal in Hawaii. You're only allowed aloha. Oh. Yeah, to anybody who's in the fire area in Hawaii, that is, I hope, I hope things. I don't know. I don't know. Are they going to recover the town, or what's going to happen? But that's tough. That's really tough. Um, I'm hoping they are the people who made it through. I'm hoping that they are going to recover fully, and yeah, that's tough. Wind, wind and fire. There you go. Um, Britta says I'm the backward kid. Yeah, I think we talked about this last time and the time before. When I was little, I learned how to read pretty much from home. But when we went to school, we had 4 desks, facing each other, right? So 2 next to each other and 2 next to each other this way. And I don't know why, but we got 2 textbooks per table per group, and we decided to share across. And so I learned to read upside down. So sometimes when I'm not understanding something, mostly when I'm tired and I'm reading a book and you just find yourself reading the same thing over and over again, I turn it upside down and it makes sense. So there you go. Verna says, wonder if Wally World owns a Tractor Supply as it has a Subway in it too. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we did go to an Indian place, and he also owned a Subway. So maybe Subway just partners up with lots of other places. They get in on all that action. Hey, people might be hungry there. Let's put a Subway. Eric says, my friend gave birth in her car on the way to hospital, and her husband named the kid Carson. There you go. Too bad it wasn't a Ford, or they would have named him Ford. Oh boy. David says, we have a 3-year-old Bartlett pear. Last year we got several fruits, but this year not a single bloom. It was a very dry year last year. Is that normal? I have Kamis and Warren, and those are the 2 that I have. I don't know Bartlett. I think Bartlett is a different category of pear from them. Not like species wise or anything like that, but there's dessert pears, and there's fresh eating pears, and I don't know enough about them to give you an adequate answer for that. I would say, did you have wind? Because wind would also do this. Oh, it didn't flower. It didn't flower. That's interesting. I was thinking it didn't fruit, but it didn't even flower. So I don't know about Bartlett pears in particular. This is not true with my pears, but some fruit trees need a break. So if you had a wonderful year, one year, then the next year it might take a break. And there's a kind of a boom and bust with that. So it might be that. If it doesn't, so I would try and find someone that knows more about pears, number one. I know that pears you're supposed to prune a certain way, and I just haven't done it. So that you might look up how to do that. I wish I remember what the video was that I watched years ago about that, because there's ways that you can prune pears to produce things. Something to think about is fruit trees in general. I'm generalizing here. Fruit on branches that are lateral. So the tree goes up. These are growing branches. When they fruit, they're fruiting on branches that are going out. So if you want something to fruit on that branch, what you might try doing, and again, I'm not a pear expert, you can check this against pear people, but you can try weighting those branches to see if you can give them more of a downward appearance, like this, and maybe it will produce more flowers. Maybe it's in a growth period. I know my grandpa had a pear tree. I have no idea what kind it was, and it got really, really, really overgrown through years and years and years. It was years after he died, and I was living with my grandma. And it had so much growth that it wasn't producing pears. So another question I would ask is, it's only 3 years old, so I don't know how much you really need to prune it that much at that age, but how much is it growing? Is it growing a lot? Because it might be putting its energy into that. And I know that when I pruned that pear tree, before I even knew what I was doing, any pruning, like I just did a hack job. And that next year we got a few fruits. So it might just be putting energy into the growing part and not into the fruiting part. And depending on what you want it to do, that might be good or bad at that age. And so what I would do is someone who knows more about pears, but if this was me, I would try and weigh down the tips of those branches a little. It doesn't have to be like all the way, but to give them that more lateral exposure, so that, I mean, you don't really have to do it now, but before it flowers, before it buds, you can do it now, so that the tree has more lateral branches to fruit off of. And if you find an answer different from a pear person, let me know, because I would like to know the answer. That is how I'd answer it if it's a test question. All right. Good question. Silver Creek Aquatics is here. Howdy, y'all. Hey, Silver Creek. Did you see my... Wait, did I post it yet? Did I post a pond video yet, guys? I don't think I did. There's a pond video coming up. I want you to tell me what some plants are. Did I? I edited a bunch of videos this weekend. All right. Steve says Bartlett pear, lack of water can also cure or cause a mature pear tree's failure to bloom. Yeah, so that's another thing is care of it. So if it is getting enough, getting enough water, if it's not getting enough water and it's getting sunburned, that could also stress it. But yeah, I could see that it's happening. Verna says, if I pears, then I will have to freeze dry them. Don't know if I will have time to harvest the 2 trees that are available to me. Verna, do it. Do it. Fill up your refrigerator. Fill up your neighbor's refrigerator, and just do it. Yeah, because you don't want to miss out on free pears. I mean, ask the people if you can use their free refrigerator too. You're like, I just need it for a couple of weeks. How to prune a pear trees in winter. Verna, I can't click on that. Who did that video? Yeah, because there is a specific way to do it. Eric says, did you hear about the guy who invented the knock knock joke? He won the Nobel Prize. Buster says, do you use fruit fertilizer sticks under your fruit trees? I do not. What I use for my fruit trees is I use around my fruit trees, I have the wood chips, and the wood chips, like I have wood chip pathways over here, and I have wood chips over in the, don't even know what I'm pointing at. Wood chip pathways around the pond, and wood chips underneath the other trees out there. And what that does, it does it by itself, wood chips by itself will actually break down pretty quickly, and they will break down and make fungal dominated compost. So that is what I'm talking about with the mycorrhizae, is it's fungal dominated, and mycorrhizae is a fungus, and that's good fungus, and these are good things. And so if you see mushrooms in that area, that's a good sign, because you know that the fungus underneath the ground, it's like an iceberg. There's tons more underground than there is on the top. That's just the fruiting body, what you see above ground. And all of those things are going very far sometimes to pick up nutrients for your trees. So I use that. I use in the pathway, I have done manure management in there, and also I add azomite in when I do that, so that when things get broken down, that can be ready made. I use that for my fruit trees. I also use that on my garden beds when I clean out the pathway of the compost. So I'm composting in place that I'm walking on, and also not walking on. The only thing that I do add nutrition wise to the trees is I do add iron to the citrus grove when it needs it, and that's just the little iron things that people put out for grass. That's what I use. Other than that, I don't, fertilize them. I use, if I'm using a drench for something else, I'll throw some on there. I do throw, like, when I process animals, we put the blood out the blood with water and put that underneath trees. Sometimes we put it underneath trees, sometimes we put it on the garden beds, but that goes to the plants, and that is very nutrient rich. So I do use that. But no, I don't use the sticks. I know, like, for iron, you could put like iron nail into the ground and the plant would find that nutrient. Starts to rust and stuff. But yeah. I'm scrolling, trying to scroll up. Here we go. And where are we? Sorry, guys. I'm scrolling. PJ's asking, Andy, could the bean leaves be sunburned? It could be. She said 4 to 5 years. So I don't know. I guess I didn't read that before. I'm sorry. Buster says if it was a Ford parked under a cliff, they could name him Cliff Ford. Gotta run for your money, Eric. Truck 3 says, I prune my pear trees in a vase shape. Yep. There's a couple different ways to do it, but there are some very specific ways that people do it for production. And I haven't looked that up again. Obviously don't do it. I don't prune my pears that much. Do some. Sue says, Bartlett pear water, a deep water weekly during fruiting season can help the blooms. Yeah, also the right nutrition can too. So you're gonna have to look it up because I don't have it in my head. But the NPK, it's not nitrogen. It's either P or K. But one of those is good when the plant is blooming or about to bloom, and there's like instructions on the back of packets and things that you can read, and you can do that, use something commercial, or you can use something that is more natural, and you can get the information from commercial and you can use something more natural. And I don't remember what it is, but they're one of those nutrients, the major nutrients, has benefit right before bloom. Yeah. Britta says, if I harvest some pears, then I will have to freeze dry them. Oh, you already said that. Okay. I will. Okay. Apparently, I jumped and then jumped back down. Wow, I jumped way down or way up. Hang on, guys. Gotta find you. David says, we were basically in a drought here last year. I did water, but also dry. Lots of new growth this year, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, it could have been that it was dry. Yeah, it goes into survival mode. Silver Creek's, I'll definitely watch it and check it out. For some reason, I thought I had already put it out, and I think it's going to be Thursday's video. Actually, I think that's what I figured out. Maybe, I don't remember. Another link for pruning pear trees. Thank you, Verna. They're dropping on the ground. Oh no. Okay, this was a list from different gardeners. Yeah, I would make sure, like, because there is a very specific. There's different ways to do it, and there's ways where like pear orchardists do it. So I would go with them because they know what they're doing. Silver Creek says, I know a great and trusted source for pond plants too. KJE Aquatics. He's amazing. Cool. And David's going to check out those links. Good job. Good job, Berna. Verna says, fill a bucket of quail poo and wood chips, cover with water, let set at least 24 hours or longer for good fertilizer. You're going to have to thin it out, though. You're going to have to thin it out a lot. Yeah, not a full bucket. Erica says, yesterday I told my wife to embrace her mistakes. She cried, then hugged me. Ain't that the truth, Erica? Verna says. Yeah. Okay, Buster's going to try it. I heard pound an iron nail between the tree's roots. Yeah, so that would work, I believe. I don't have many iron nails just laying around. But yeah, I think putting something that rusts in the ground would do that. Don't nail it into your irrigation system. Mine's buried in the wood chips, so there you go. Silver Creek says the fungus or root relationship is a beautiful one. Absolutely. And the more you make that relationship better, the healthier your plants are going to be. Yeah, soil is definitely the answer to how to keep your garden healthy, for sure. Because a healthy plant is going to fight off something that comes to it, just like people. Phosphorus when they're blooming. Thank you, Silver Creek. And you guys jumped. Phosphorus. Now, phosphorus. No, I'm not going to say anything because I just said the wrong thing. Yeah, phosphorus is, and you can get different things that has phosphorus in it to add that. If you want the lazy way out, they make mixes of fertilizers for specific timings, and if you want to do it that way, you can do it that way. If not, that's fine too. I prefer natural route. Brenna says, when harvesting your animals, you can save the blood and make your own blood meal if you have a freeze dryer. Yep. Yeah, you can do blood meal. I choose not to because I mix I use it right there. So I put it somewhere. And yeah. Yep. Swanson says, oh, look, it's raining again. Not at Verna's house. Oh, truck 3 saying, rub it in, Steve. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl use the bathroom? Because the P is silent. Eric, that was a good one. Verna says, Silver has an aviary too. I know he does. And pretty cool. Can't you just spread the blood itself on the garden? Yes. So you can spread the blood itself on the garden. If you do that, you're going to get flies and you're going to get, possums, which you already have possum going through your yard. And you're going to get all sorts of pests coming through if you don't actually get it into the ground. So sure, you could put blood clots on the ground and all the neighborhood critters are going to come and eat it. But if you mix it with water and make sure that it goes down into the ground, then that is better. So what I tend to do is I mix it with water and then I put that, where I'm putting it. And then I get water again and put water where I put those other things just to get it down into the ground. And it's good. It's good. 1 cup per gallon of water, Britta says. Okay. The P is for bloom. How is the P for bloom? I don't get it. Neighbors would freak out, Steve. Yeah, Verna, I'm hoping he's not thinking like in the front yard. Yeah. Oh, Steve, we ain't supposed to do that. Oops. Yeah. I mean, if your plants are taking it in, do it. That's fine. I would not do just blood because of the potential pest issue. But if you thin it out, I think that's a better idea. Would rabbit droppings be good for the pear tree? Yep. Yep, they would. Rabbit droppings are good for everything. It is a cold manure, so you can put it there pretty much right away. And yeah, it'd be good. Dang YouTube. Uh-oh, what's it doing? And yes, it is a cold manure. So cold manure and hot manure. Let's talk about that real quick. So cold manure is things like rabbit, goat, llama, alpaca, sheep. Am I missing any? Those are the kind of animal droppings that you can use in your garden right away. You can rabbit. Did I say rabbit? I should have said rabbit. You can use that in your garden right away, and you won't have any ill will from that. A hot manure are basically your bird manures, your quail, your chicken, your geese. I don't think geese are. I'm going to say I don't know what geese. I know what geese are. I don't know if they're. I think they might be cold manure. Somebody correct me. So it's going to be most of your birds. So it's going to be your quail, your chickens, your turkeys, those kind of animals. And what that means is if you were to take that and put it right there, then it's going to have some severe effects for your plant. So it's going to give too much nutrition, specifically nitrogen. It's going to give too much nutrition, and it's going to burn your plants. Are they going to catch fire? No. They call it burning because it looked like the effect that they have on the plant is it looks like the plant was burned. It like cinches the edges of the leaves, and it really, really does damage to your plant. So I would not do that. There are people that, like Verna was talking about, make a compost tea out of that that's thinned out, and you can do that. I've never done that with manure. I know people that have, but you can certainly do that as a thinned out thing. Definitely don't just plop it on the ground then. Yeah. So those kinds of things need composting, usually 6 to 9 months, depending on where you are. So if you're in a more humid area, it's going to break down faster. If you have like black soldier flies or something else, processing it, then it will break down faster. Yeah. All right. And sorry, I realized that I sat back again. I'll sit back up again. Hopefully it's better. Eric says, did you hear about the actor who fell through the floorboards? He was just going through a stage. Steve has a question which he has to clarify as being a serious question because it comes from Steve. My black soldier fly ate all the quail poop, so now I just have sand type left over. Is it still hot? Steve, I don't think so. I don't think it is, because what you have is you don't have poop anymore. You have, well, you do. You have frass. You've turned poop into frass. Frass is what insect poop is called. So what I would do if you want to test that, because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty much sure. What I would do to test that is try and grow something in it. Grow like a little. Ask Andy for one of her bean seeds and see if you can grow a white bean. No, that's what I would do. Is I would see if you can grow stuff in it and see how hot it is, and something that's fast germinating like a bean would work, or lettuce or something like that. And I do not believe it would be hot, though. Does anybody else know for sure? Because that is a good question. Yeah, my assumption is it's not hot anymore. Verna says, I think duck and geese are hot manure as it is usually too green. Yeah, you're probably right. Verna says, Steve, no, it isn't hot anymore. So part of why birds are hot manure, they don't urinate. So when rabbits, goats, sheep, all of those guys, when they urinate, they get rid of a lot of their waste through that way. And quail and chickens and other birds, newsflash, if you didn't know, they don't pee. So everything comes out as one, and so everything is in there. there's your reasoning if you wanted to know. Eric says, why is water heavier than butane? Because butane is a lighter fluid. Steve says, Andy, can you bring me a bean? One, just one bean. He will give you a cow, and it will grow in his magic dirt, and thus Steve will become known as Jack. Hopefully, you guys follow that logic. I can get some white leaves too. Said don't spread disease. All right, Eric has one more. An alien aboard the spaceship, yelling hello to everyone. It seems the captain put everyone on high alert. David says, I have been putting our grievous maximus amounts of quail poo on the compost pile for 6 months or so. Now that we have bunny poo, we may move away from keeping quail poo for the gardens. Yeah. Or, I mean, you can still use it. You can still compost it. But if you're just adding on to the same pile in 6 months, it doesn't mean that pile's done. You need to start new pile, and start flipping that. Or wait for the black soldier flies if that is a thing. But yeah, rabbit poop is amazing. And it composts amazingly well, and it grows things amazingly well. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder which you would grab, the goose or the harp. Thank you, Verna, for getting my reference. Yeah, Verna says compost it and sell it. That's a good thing too. People will buy chicken poop. People will buy quail poop if they know what it is. Yeah, that's a good point. You can do that for the rabbits too. If you find that you have enough and you've done pretty good, then you can do that. Yeah. Grievous maximus amounts of quail poo. I like it. Yeah. And David, how are your quail doing in your aviary? They're doing fine. They have no memories of past stress. Oh, Andy's gonna bring Steve a bean. Just one. Can you bring it in a little bag for him, like Jack's beans? Verna says, keep your old feed bags, turn them inside out, fill with compost or dried rabbit poop, and sell it all. Yeah, I have the Rack and House compost in feed bags, and I actually saved it there because that is an active system. I just felt like it needed some extra time to finish composting. And so that's in the garage. stacks of bags of compost to be used. Sorry, I'm getting more water. Okay, so David says new pile every 3 months or so. Good. Just remember which one's which. Who wants to buy black soldier fly waste? I filled up half a 40-pound feed bag so far. That is awesome. That is awesome. No, those are the ones that come naturally underneath, or is that do you have like a black soldier fly unit, like a house that you built for them? Because I think that would be neat, because they do they deal with a lot more than worms can. They deal with meat, And I'm thinking, and maybe Steve, you can experiment with this since you have this going on. Put a couple quail heads in with them and see how much they clean it for you. Because I think that would be a really good way. You wouldn't have to boil quail heads for things. Yeah, you can rent out your. You could rent out your black soldier fly area for like taxidermists or something. They probably already have beetles. So he says, "Yep, they come every spring and take care of my chores." 2 dozen eggs from them tonight. 2 dozen from the coop. Awesome. 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 Glad they're doing well. The head, bone, and all. You tried it? They ate the bones. Wow. You probably have some good calcium in that too, then. I wonder if you paid attention and like, okay, in 5 days I need to take the skulls out. You know, if it was more like that kind of scenario, if you would be able to use them. Because when you can, you should use the animals for their natural animalness. As Joel Salatin says, the pigness of the pig, right? Yeah. Verna says, yeah, then run them through the freeze dryer to dry them totally. And Verna says, I get 18 eggs a day until I cull them all. What are you starting over with my shares stuff? Or are you, I thought you were starting a new experiment, or that you were already in a new experiment. Yeah. All right. So does anybody have any other things, any other ways to keep the garden healthy and keep them, disease free and growing good? Now's the time. Steve says, I'll stick a string in the next one and pull it back out every day and take pictures of their work. That would be interesting. That'd be interesting. Verna has Egyptian fee in the brooder, and we'll cull all the others. Very cool. Very cool. Egyptian fee is where it's at. That's what I have in the main aviary. They are very neat. And David says, you are welcome to come get as much quail poo as you want, Steve. And Brent says, I add cooey poop to all my planters. That is why I have a lot of growth. Yeah. Yep. It's good stuff. So cooey would also be cold manure. I did not list the cooey as under the cold manures, but it is true. And I keep leaning back. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. So, do you guys want to see the kits, the baby bunnies? Hopefully, it won't go away again. I tried to show you guys this on the first try for the live, and then YouTube picked us off for some reason. Yeppers, yes, you do. I hear an egg song. I hear a crowing over here. You hear one over there? Steve says, that's a nice offer, David. I don't have enough poop or scraps to feed them, and I have 100 birds. I have millions of black soldier fly. All right, let's take a look. Hopefully I can take this and the light, because they are right here. Hi, guys. Hi. Say hi to the people. Well, there's one. You gonna say hi? Hello. So these are, well, this one, the other one. Tortellini's 2 little girls. I believe the girls are going to I'm going to re-examine them soon. And we are thinking about keeping them as breeders. So all right, let me get this set up again. So those are the girls, and they are not very well socialized yet, because they were going to be food, and also because when we put them in there, then we had Parmesan out of his place because I was cleaning their water stuff. So Parmesan was in the corner over here. in a regular sized hutch. And so they, I felt that since I had not been socializing with them, I should just socialize with Parmesan and ignore socializing with them until I knew that everybody was okay. Everybody is okay, so I do need to start socializing with them if we're going to keep them. So there we go. Steve says, do I hear a new naming contest in the works? Yep, we're going to wait. We're going to wait. But they will be a naming contest. I don't know them well enough to tell them apart immediately. I know one of them is less skittish than the other one. So that's the only classifier so far. Yeah. Blinded by the light. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Verna says, cute Katrina, where did you get those rabbits at? So these are Tortellini's kits. So they're her babies, and she had 2 that were alive, and those are the ones that you guys saw kind of growing up a little bit before she passed. And so however long ago that was, I think they were 7 weeks when she passed, I think. So they're getting older, but they won't be able to breed until March, I think is what I figured out. And they will be bred to Parmesan, who is their dad. I see that there's a question coming down. Yeah, so Parmesan is their dad, Tortellini is their mom. You can line breed rabbits, which is parent to offspring, and you should not do sibling to sibling or sibling to half sibling or sibling to sibling of a different litter. Like that should not be done, but line breeding is as well. So yeah, whenever Tortellini passed, was that 2 weeks ago? They were 7 weeks old. I have it on the calendar. Let me look at the calendar real quick. No, I'll give you guys a real answer. 12, 11. So they are a little more than 9 weeks old right now. So yeah, they're a little more than 9 weeks old right now. And they are half Black New Zealand and from their Californian from their dad. I'm assuming that those are full breeds. They're not like paperwork animals or anything. Pedigreed. They're not pedigreed or anything. Yeah. So answered that. We answered that. Rabbits can breed like quail can't. Yep. Yours look a little older. August 10th. They looked older on August 10th? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of dark. Yeah. And let's see. Yes, Parmesan is their father. How old are they now? They're 9 weeks. And how about half siblings? No. Half siblings, I've heard, is not a thing. Andy Rabbit's saying yes. I only have 1 buck, so and I have 2 females from 1 litter. They're all the females here are all full blood sisters. We have 2 white ones and 2 black ones. They're full blood sisters, and July 10th. But they are from different litters. So these 2 are from the same litter, and the white ones, Ravioli and Rigatoni, they are from a different litter of the same, like they were born at the same time. Yeah. Double checking. All right. If breeding for meat, brother or sister don't hurt. Right. So, I mean, it's all based on your goal, right? So a baby rabbit's going to grow up into being meat, then sure, you could. But I have 1 buck, and he's the dad to all these ones now. He was not Tortellini's dad. Tortellini was separate. So, yeah. Meatball was also tortellini and parmesans, and so was ziti. But those 3 girls have passed now, so yeah. But if you're keeping breeders, or you're going to plan to keep them at some point, it's good to not do siblings. Oh, yours were born July 10th. Got it. Verna says, I've been looking into stack cages. I'm thinking of ordering them tomorrow. For rabbits? Yeah. I don't have stack cages, but I would say that as long as you think about and understand how the design is put together, rabbits will pee out the side of things. So you might want to, because you're inside, you might want to have a little strip of something, at the bottom, so that it goes back in. And then just knowing that you have something to catch that urine, because they do pee quite a bit. I don't know how much cooey pee, but they do pee quite a bit when they pee. So that's just something to think about. Oh, Andy says a lot of show people breed brother and sister too. They can produce the best rabbits for the table. Yeah, that it produces what that does. What inbreeding does is it amplifies traits. So it amplifies positive traits and it amplifies negative traits, and it doesn't become an issue genetically until you're amplifying the negative things. And the thing is, when you are selecting for the positive traits that you're amplifying, you may not be seeing the negative traits that you're amplifying throughout time. So that's something to pay attention to, or that's something to be aware of if you're going that route, is you're amplifying traits. And that's what it's about, is you're amplifying traits. Some things you might know, some things you might not know immediately by looking at an animal. And Verna says she's going to get the urine strips. Yeah, for sure get. And I've not ever bought cages or hutches. I mean, the one that you guys just saw, I think that was for free. There was a guy whose daughter had rabbits. He caught her 10 years before, and there was 2 rabbits, and they had that enclosure outside, and 10 years, they lasted 10 years. And then the other ones came with the rabbits that I got, my original rabbits, or my original meat rabbits that I got. Yeah. Okay, Cooey do as well. And the urine strips are a part thing. I know, Verna. I know. I'm gonna guess it's part. I don't know. I don't know why they put that there. It seems pretty illogical location, but they don't ask me when they do these things. Why not? I don't know. Breeding brother and sister is the best way to find if you have any bad traits. Right. So you're amplifying the traits. So you're saying if you're going to keep that one for something. Yeah. How to get rid of it. Oh, yeah. I don't have a mouse right now that's usable for some reason. I think I have to reconnect it. It reconnected, like I can roll the rolly thing and the mouse moves, but it doesn't do any clicking. So, yeah. Oh, it's a smart thing. Okay. Trying to figure out what Spart was. Spartacus, something. Yeah, and that's something that just to know, as they do, and they can shoot out pretty far. So yeah, for sure. All right, guys, it is 8:13 at night. I know we had an intermission early on. Thank you guys all for finding the second chat. Hopefully the first chat people found this one. But I want to say thank you guys for hanging around and hanging out to the end here. Anybody have any last minute questions that burning a hole in their pocket? That's money. Burning, any other burning questions? No? All right. Verna says, have a blessed night, everyone. Have a wonderful night. And we will see you guys next Monday. Tomorrow is going to be the second Every Bits Counts challenge video. Unfortunately, there's not much change from what I did the first bit, but there's a lot of preservation going on. And then this next week, I'm going to have some different things going on as well. It'll be a little different. And then I believe Thursday's video was going to be the Here's What's Coming video, but I don't know for sure yet if I'm going to do that this week or next week, but I think it might be this week. Anyway, there you go. There you go. And okay, Verna, I'm not going to have that much time, but you can call me and we can talk for a little bit in 10 minutes. Buster says, thanks for all the information. You're welcome. And David says, we have Roger and Jessica Rabbit along with 5 kids. We plan to keep a heart to meet with Roger. Oh, a doe to meet with Roger. Very cool. Very cool. Good luck with that. You're going to be socializing with all of those females until you're like, attached with all of them, and then decide which one you want to keep. So, all right, guys, thank you. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time. Hit the like on the way out, and we will see you next Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, right here. Hopefully by then I'll be inside, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good night.